Hello everybody, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Boucharenc. I'm the head of the division of industrial design. I'm an architect but also an industrial designer. I would like maybe to ask our friend Ling Yang to introduce himself.
Oh, he's not online yet.
He's not online, okay.
Okay, we'll just wait for like a few more people to join and for Ling Yang to come online.
Okay. We got some. So welcome in NUS. I don't know if some people are listening to us abroad. I have some message, no?
Hi. Hi,
Hello.
Shahid. We're just waiting for our alumnus, Ling Yang, to come online. And then we'll just have some short introductions. Shahid, if you have any questions, feel free to submit your questions in the bottom right question mark icon. And then we can pin it later and answer them. Hi Ling Yang. Hi Brian. Okay, we'll just get Ling Yang to come online. Must upgrade their app. Oh, Ling Yang, it says that you must upgrade your app in order to join. Can you quickly do that first? And then come join the live chat again.
I can see that Brian is online. Hi Brian.
Okay. Maybe you can start first. Yeah, maybe could you introduce yourself again, Christian?
So let's again. My name is Boucharenc. I'm French. I'm architect and industrial designer. I've been living in France, Finland, Denmark, Japan, where I've done my master and my PhD. And now I've been living since 18 years in Singapore and working for the division of industrial design.
It's been a
Do
while.
we have any question arrive? I think that many people arrive online, which is very nice.
Hi. Maybe you could share with us what you've been doing in industrial design in Singapore.
But I've been teaching but also I've been building as an architect. I've been building a house for a French family, but I've been working before as a designer in Japan for Toshiyuki Kita during a few years. I was working also as an architect, and also I was working for Juha Leiviskä in Finland, which is one of the best architects in the world, I would like to say, but one of the best architects in Finland also. Working also in Paris as an architect. So quite a long journey.
Oh, sorry, Christian, to disrupt. Okay, Ling Yang is coming online. Okay,
I can see that many of my friends join us.
Hi.
Ling Yang. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh no! Please finish your introduction first.
I've already introduced myself. If you can present yourself, introduce yourself, explain where do you come from, what are you doing, where have you been working?
Okay. Hello everyone who is interested to join this live chat with NUS, BID, alumnus, and professors. I'm Sebastian. And also some of you may know me as Ling Yang. I'm a graduate from NUSDID in 2017, and since then I've been working in the cosmetic retail industry. I'm currently working in a company in Singapore called Shiseido. It is a Japanese multinational beauty company that owns more than 10 other subsidiary brands such as NARS, Clé de Peau, and Dolce & Gabbana, for example. Together with my team, I managed the construction projects of the Shiseido shops across China and Korea. From handling design drawings to execution and budget maintenance It is a very exciting job that takes me around the world. But the most exciting part of this job is that I get to work with some very talented individuals in the industry. Many of them come from NUSDID as well. They are my seniors. Some of them are my juniors, just to name a few. You have Natasha Tan, Pei Ran, and also recent graduates like Josh Ho and Lim and Jin Jie, who are now thriving in the company as well. So that's me. That's what I do. So that's it.
Thank you for this introduction, Sebastian. Maybe we can see some message of question.
Okay, let me open to see what questions there. Okay, we have one question from Aloysius Xavier. Will hard or soft skills be more relevant in the design industry?
I would like to say definitely both are relevant. There is no, we do not dissociate the two skills for me. They are complementary, and it's very important to keep both of them. And the designer should work with those two skills. Well, what is your point of view, Sebastian?
Thank you. Well, thank you for this question, Aloysius. I definitely agree with Dr. Christian to say that both skills are completely complementary with each other. In fact, I wouldn't go as far as to say that it's either soft or hard. You know, there's one thing that frames up these two skills is that you must have the open-minded attitude. You know, with the open-minded attitude, with the curiosity to learn, you will have the drive to learn whatever hard skill or soft skills that is required for you to thrive in whichever specialization that you want to be in this design industry. So yeah, I would say attitude is the more important part.
Okay, do we have some other message?
Not yet, but maybe Ling Yang, like you could share a bit more about your experience.
Yes, for instance, in Hong Kong, what have you done in Hong Kong?
I see. So first of all, how I ended up in Hong Kong is also thanks to NUSDID. I took a platform project very early on in my academic years. It was in my second year, and it was a platform project in collaboration with L'Oreal Travel Retail. And this platform project was hosted by Dr. Christian, and so L'Oreal flew the designers and the directors down from Hong Kong to collaborate with us on this platform on a weekly basis to design an exhibition that is going to happen. And whichever design that is selected, the students who design this exhibition will be flown to Hong Kong to serve an internship and to realize, to turn this project into reality. So yeah, I'm lucky enough. I'm very happy that my team's project was selected. And yeah, all of us had the chance to go to Hong Kong to serve this internship in L'Oreal Travel Retail. And we also had the chance to realize this project. It was built in 2015 in Singapore, Marina Bay Sands, and that is how my relationship with the cosmetic industry started. So yeah, I'm very thankful for this opportunity. Thank you again, since Dr. Christian is here.
Thank you for sharing your early journey of like spatial retail space design. Maybe like going back to Aloysius Xavier's question, like will hard or soft skills be more relevant in the design industry, right? Just now, Ling Yang, you mentioned that like open-mindedness, like in like picking up new skills, like very different ones from what you're used to. Maybe you could share more about your journey, because before DID you were in like digital media design, right? And that was like quite different. Then when it comes to DID, was it difficult to adjust? Like what were the skills that you found yourself needing to pick up? Yeah, what was difficult?
Well, thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. Yeah, it was indeed quite challenging at the start. Coming from a multimedia design background to be industrial design, but end of the day, I think the important part is to be open-minded. I was very open-minded in terms of selecting the platform that I wanna do. I chose the ones that I have zero experiences with, so I could be exposed. And one of them, and in this case, I chose this platform that Dr. Christian hosted, which is with L'Oreal. It was very architectural, very constructional, and I had zero experience in it. In fact, it was the toughest platform in my year. Longest hours spent, I would say. Really tough. In fact, if I were to go back, I would like to say that I almost hated the period, the kind of hours that I have to put in just to do this project. We go home at 11 p.m. sometimes, and I really hated it. I really hated it, to be frank. But in the end, numbers don't lie, and the facts don't lie either. Many of us who took these platforms are now working in the cosmetic retail industry. It gave us a really quick push to join companies like Estee Lauder, Shiseido, L'Oreal, fresh out of school. So yeah, numbers don't lie. So right now, I would like to say that in every major cosmetic group design team in Asia, APAC, there's at least one or more DID graduate working there, driving the business and the industry through design. And yeah, so that's my advice. Be really open-minded to take on platforms and courses that you have zero experience in. And for all you know, you may end up finding something that you really like, and it could really change your life and drive your career. Thank you.
Don't thanks me. I feel embarrassed. It was a fantastic experience. It was a challenge for us because it was the first time that we introduced, maybe the second time where we introduced some interior architecture, and without any strong background, I can see that you managed to win this competition. It was a long journey since the first week until the final week, but the jury was unanimous to push your project, and I was so happy that at the end of the day your team built this project at scale 1 in MBS, and I think that there is very, very few schools in the world who can offer to a second year student the possibility to be in a full immersion and develop a project of this complexity. It's quite expensive project also.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You can see some of the message from
Yeah, thanks so much, Ling Yang, for sharing your very real struggles behind the very pivotal project now. Yeah, okay. We actually have a few questions from people that are...
What do you think?
Yeah, hold on. Oh, okay, maybe... okay, in the comment section, there's a question from Xue Agnes. How do you think you will evolve as a designer after your uni and now your career?
But I don't know if this question is for me as a young lecturer or it's to Sebastian. I think this question is to Sebastian.
I think both of you can answer.
Yes.
Like,
but first, this is very, very important. I'm starting, Sebastian. When we start to be an architect or designer, when we finish and we complete our study, and we just finish a university or school, we just start our life as a designer. So it's a long, we start to learn, and it's we learn all our life. We are not. It's a permanent. Even myself, at my age, I'm continue to learn. So the study did not finish at the end of the university, but it's all your career that you build your personality, your skill, your sensibility to design. And this is why industrial design and architecture is a fantastic work, because we are discovering, we are amazed, we still have this very child and this sensibility to absorb our environment, like a sponge. Exactly, to use this word. So what do you think, Sebastian?
Yeah. How do you think you'll evolve as a designer after your uni and now your career?
Well, then this question is also tied to the last question where Aloysius asked about hard skills and soft skills, right? So I think in a designer's life, during your academy, during your school years, you definitely develop a lot of hard skills. You learn software, you pick up, you pick up sense of beauty, design sensibility, and so that's how you evolve as a designer within the school. You pick up a lot of hard skills, and fresh out of school in your career, I think the skills that you'll be picking up are not the hard ones, but mostly the soft ones. How do you deal with how do you try and sell your design to stakeholders? How do you convince them that this design A is better than B? And all these are skills that will actually help you drive your career. But having said that, I would like to say that DID is the place for you to begin developing your career even before you graduate. So, like I mentioned just now, the kind of platforms that we have in the school is like in collaboration with L'Oreal, Shiseido, and it's not just a collaboration on paper. All these companies, Shiseido, for example, they really put in the effort. They really send people into the school to really look at the students' work, to critique the students' work. L'Oreal flew people from Hong Kong all the way to Singapore to look at the students' work too. And through that, they give their real feedback. They give their real feedback from their perspective. These people are from different departments, marketing and merchandising. And as a student, that's the best kind of training you can get in terms of soft skills. How do you speak to people from different backgrounds? And this is something that you will face in only after you have graduated. But at NUSDID, you face it as early as year 2. In my case. So yeah, so that's the answer to that question.
I think we have seen one question about the materials you mentioned to me.
Oh, yeah, the question is not here yet. Maybe, yeah, actually, sorry, a pause, right? Guys, if you submitted your questions just now, I think for some reason we can't really see it in the boxes anymore. So if your questions are not being answered or picked, just like put it into the question mark icon again, okay? Then we'll see whether we can see them. Yeah, Sebastian, thanks for sharing your experience. Hope it doesn't sound like we are like advertising ID too much. Like Ling Yang doesn't have any advantage in doing that. Like he's not paid to do this. Maybe like
Guys.
Oh, okay, maybe we'll take another. There's another question. Hope that answers your question a little bit, like sure, Agnes. If you want us to clarify, I want to hear more, just like ask us in the comments again, yeah? Okay. We have this question from It's Jia Ying. Even if I didn't have a science background, I took the arts and humanities subjects during A-levels. Is it possible to consider NUSID as my choice? I was thinking along the lines of healthcare design. Yeah. Someone with like arts and humanities background, can they consider NUSID as
absolutely, definitely. I would like to precise something. Many potential students, young Singaporean visit us and ask and explain that they don't have any skill or any background in a design field. And that's why they feel weak and they are hesitating to come to ID. We are not looking for some people coming to ID with some specific skill like a 3D CAD, whatever. We are we like to take people from a different background, and as long as they have some passion for design, some interest for this discipline, and I can see here art and human sexuality, all those domains are directly related to our field. And a designer is not only one person who is designing beautiful object, whatever, but is also a kind of sociologist. Is one person who is able to look at this, the society and propose and observe, have a very good sense of observation and propose some solution, which is not only problem solving, but also to be visionary and come with a certain sensibility. So all kind of background are really welcome for us.
Do you have anything to add, Ling Yang?
No, I echo what Dr. Christine just said. I think, in fact, the more diverse the background is, or the more diverse the backgrounds are in terms of the cohort, the better it is for not just the school, but also for each individual students, because they will then be able to cross ideate and come up with designs that they wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah, maybe along those lines, like different backgrounds. Like when you were in school in DID, were you working with like people, like students without like design and art background? Like how was that? Was it necessarily hard?
No, it isn't. I would like to say that many of my cohort can't draw. If they were to listen in this chat, they would probably kill me. But not all of them draw very well. But to be very frank, these are also the people that are doing. They have graduated and is driving their industry very well. You know, we have people in healthcare. We have people in companies like IBM, not necessarily using any technical drawing skills or art skills. You know, they are doing service design, which is such an important specialization in the world that we live in now. Yeah, so no, please feel free to be part of this family, even if you do not have an art background.
Yeah, you were mentioning there are some people who are doing in healthcare design, right? Actually, Jia Ying's question also. Hi Jia Ying, I don't know whether you're still here, but yeah, can feel free to chat with us later also if you're not here. But she also mentioned that she was thinking along the lines of pursuing healthcare design. Maybe you or Christian can share more about that.
I would like to say that ID is proposing a lot of different platforms. Some platforms are with some partner from the industry, public or private. And I would like to know that to invite the future student, not selecting only one domain, but try different platforms, because they can be surprised. For instance, Sebastian did not imagine when he started his study in ID that he will become one of the most eminent specialists of retail design in Singapore. So it's also life is it's important to take some risk. Try also some platform in service design. Try some platform, of course, in healthcare or whatever, retail. And of course, sometimes we like or we don't like, but it's always a very good experience. It's very important. The school should be the opportunity to try different domain of expertise. And then after, when you feel it, of course, we can continue 2 or 3 other platforms in the same field. But do not close the door from the beginning. I think it's very important.
Yeah,
that is exactly how I felt when I was in the course, Dr. Christine. Like, again, it's the topic on hard skills and soft skills. Essentially, I didn't really feel that there were many hard skills that we were forced to learn in the school. In fact, we were just given a huge range of projects to select to do. And when we do those projects, we naturally will figure out the kind of hard skills or soft skills that we need to do it successfully. So coming into ID, the way that I see for me was that it wasn't really a place for me to learn a fixed set of skills, but it is a place for me to expose to a wide variety of industry, to a wide variety of future employers. You know, like what Dr. Christian said, you collaborate with hospitals, you collaborate with cosmetic retail industry, like in my case, you collaborate government agencies, for example, and all these are your exposure to your potential future employers. You know, it is opening doors for the day that you step out and graduate from GID, the kind of network that you have for you to start your career. So look at it this way.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you.
I think we have seen some other.
Yeah, Jiaying, actually, if you're already interested in healthcare design, right, you can go ahead and go to our website. The link is in our bio. There is a platform course that specifically touches on healthcare design in collaboration with hospitals, so you can check that out. Okay, let me look at other questions. Okay, there's this question from Elisha Xavier again. How does your experience as an ID industrial designer in Singapore differ from working in other countries?
So may I start? I can say as an industrial designer, but also as an architect. One of the particularity of Singapore is it's a very young country, where there is in a quite a small territory many nationality and many culture, which is amazing richness. So the fact that many things are new in the design field, the fact that the students come to us with a completely fresh vision, it's something. It's in one way I can consider this as a great advantage. I would like to say that in terms of professional, as a professional, I've been building a house here. I don't know, the client was international, so I don't find so much difference. But as a professor, I would like to say that each country, each culture has its own particularity. Culture is very important in France, for instance. I find some extreme sensibility in Japan. Here I'm quite fascinated, amazed by how the students are learning so fast. Some software and able to master it so fast. And there is also some amazing opportunity in terms of culture, because here you are in the middle of Southeast Asia, where we are close to Indonesia, Malaysia, not so far from Japan. Also, Australia is only a few hours by plane. So this is also amazing opportunity. So each place where I've been working, France, Finland, Denmark, Japan, brings some advantage and disadvantage, but I've unleashed my sensibility as a designer, as an architect. So you want to say something, because you have been working also in Hong Kong and in Singapore. Can you share?
Yeah, sure. I think it's what you said pretty much wrapped it up. You know, there's beauty in whichever place that you are going to work, and you know, in Hong Kong, when I was working in Hong Kong, what amazed me and what really inspired me was the speed of construction being done over there. You know, because Hong Kong is basically located very near to Shenzhen, and I visited a lot of factories in Shenzhen, and the kind of speed that they are able to build shops within 3 to 4 weeks is just crazy. It showed me the limit that they can push in the industry, the carpentry industry, and so that's what I learned from over there. And in Singapore, what I really enjoy seeing is innovation. You know, schools like GID. You know, GID, we have a lot of innovative projects in healthcare and digital, and also service design, and even in terms of education as early as secondary. Nowadays, I think in secondary school they are already teaching robotics. So yeah, so I see there's a different beauty in whichever country you work in. You know, over here in Singapore, I definitely see at work, I definitely see a lot of innovative ideas, looking to push boundary of technology. I really enjoy it.
Actually, I'm not sure, whether this is part of your question, Aloysius Xavier, but like a common question that we've been receiving that maybe both of you can like offer your perspective on is that people seem to think that it's very difficult to find design jobs in Singapore like, after you graduate, and there's a lack of it. Is it? Do you want to comment on that?
First of all, if I look at the domain of expertise, since we start this division more than 20 years ago now, we have opened, for instance, retail design. It's a new opportunity which is not exist before. We have some of our graduates who decide to be entrepreneur and build their own design company. Some of them decide to work for the public institution like Design Singapore. Some have been working in service design a lot for some bank to design some specific service. So there is year after year some new domain, I would like to say, and for a simple reason that the design is moving like the society. The design is systematically adapting itself to the new needs. And if we look at industrial design in 1950s and industrial design now, it's an absolute radical change. I would like to say that every year there is some new domain where industrial designer can work, and I find more and more opportunities. Of course, we are in this COVID period, and we know the economical impact on the different companies over the world. But I'm quite sure, and currently I am in discussion with some different companies related to retail, and we are expecting some new collaboration in August 2021. Sorry.
What collaboration?
But we have it's
quite
confidential. But
okay.
we have been this afternoon. I have a discussion with a company of electronic. We are also in contact with some company who produce some liquor, some very sophisticated alcohol. So I don't want to mention any brands, etc. So we have. I hope maybe you know the company. So we have more and more opportunities.
That's in the end, I think in terms of job opportunities, there is definitely multiple job opportunities for graduates when they come out. You know, again, numbers don't lie. In the industry that I'm in, cosmetic retail, like I said, every single cosmetic giants have an NUS DID graduate in their design team right now at this moment, and to talk about the future, as you can, Dr. Kristen did mention, you know, COVID is happening right now, but that doesn't mean that people stop working. You know, it just means that the economy has shifted, market has shifted. There are some industries that they are going to be growing very, very fast. Digital companies, tech startups are all growing really fast now, and you know, DID is the kind of faculty that produces students to react to this kind of change and immediately react and acquire themselves with a set of skills to join this kind of industries that are actively growing. You know, just about I would say about 6-7 years back, service design as a specialization wasn't as big as it is now. But even back then, NUS was probably the first local university to offer service design in DID, and yeah, many took it, and now they are working in companies like hospitals, banks, and also electronic payments company. So no, in fact, I think NUSDID over here, we are at the forefront of reacting to any change in job market. So it's very.
Thanks for the
you.
insight. Yeah. Okay, let's try to look at more questions. I hope that answers your question, Aloysius. Okay, let me see. Okay, this is one more specific question from Shahid works. Can I present a website portfolio during my admission interview if I was shortlisted?
This year, the presentation of the interview will be online, okay? And we are leaving this. Of course, we ask the student to present a short video, but whatever part of the portfolio, composition, sculpture, drawing, experience, even the fact that to work with some specific organization, charity, whatever, to show all kind of passion for different domain is something which is important for us to understand. We are not looking at only people with a fantastic design skill, but people who look at the society and who have some specific hobby, center of interest, etc., etc. So we are very open. We want to understand the personality of the person, of the potential candidate. Maybe I don't know if I answer well to the question.
Shahid works. Does that answer your question? If you have any other questions about like admissions or like portfolio, feel free to ask more. Okay. Okay, checking for other questions. Okay, there are 3 more that we can answer. From Elisha Xavier again, is taking on multiple design internships as beneficial as, say, taking a degree with the ID?
Oh, this is a very interesting question. Since the period where Sebastian was in the US, we have the university strongly encourage internship. So first of all, there is 2 possibilities to go in internship. The first possibility is like Sebastian, to develop a platform which is inserted in our program. Platform is one of the key elements of the spine of our program. And in this case, it's a 6 months, which is validated as a one stay abroad in exchange program. And the second possibility is to do some internship during the summer vacation, let's say June, July. But we are currently extremely picky in the selection of the company. When some company contact us to get some internship, and it has to be, we look at the pedagogical benefit from for the student point of view, and we don't want our student to be just like a cheap worker. Yes, the student need to learn in a specific company. So we strongly encourage the internship, but we want also to keep the control and to be extremely picky on the selection, and the criteria of selection are quite picky to accept our student.
Seriously, yeah, that's interesting. So the internships that you connect students with are a bit curated in the ID.
And there is systematically for any internship, there is one tutor in the US and one tutor on site. So there is a necessity to write a report about the different activity, and we know how the student reacts, how we can improve, etc., etc. So this is, but it's always a very, very good experience. I think that I believe that Sebastian learned a lot in Hong Kong. The project was already very exciting because it was his own design, but he learned a lot because he has been confronted to the real world with all the issue related to the time, the delivery, the quality, the DNA of the brand, etc., etc. If you want to say a few words about your internship, Sebastian.
Yeah, sure, but I also want to go back to Aloysius's question. I think what he's asking here is that is it more beneficial to be doing multiple design internships compared to getting a degree in a USDID? So, uh, my point of view is more like is first of all to ask yourself, my dear friend Aloysius, is what kind of internships will you be doing? Will you be doing in your case? Because what Dr. Christian has just explained here is that in NUS DID, we offer the chance for students to be exposed to companies, companies such as multinational companies such as L'Oreal, or healthcare sectors like NUH, and banks, and these are the companies. These are the companies with that kind of scale that the students are being exposed to, and potentially intern at or work at. And that is the opportunity that NUSDID could offer. And in my case, I was exposed to multinational giant conglomerates like L'Oreal, and if I were to, if I didn't join NUSDID, I'm not sure at which point in my career will I have garnered enough experience, or will I have gained enough credit to justify joining a company of this kind of size. In fact, a lot of my colleagues in the industry, other than the NUS DID graduates, they had to work a couple of years, 2, 3, or even 5 years in other I would say in other company of a smaller scale before being able to move into a company with of a scale such as a multinational company of a scale such as L'Oreal, Shiseido, Estée Lauder. So I hope that helps you with you making your decision, Aloysius.
I'm a bit surprised by as beneficial as taking a degree. I find that we need both. We need to pass through what I call fundamental courses. The school brings something that the company do not bring, and vice versa. So I feel this more like a complementary. I don't believe that we can be completely trained by one company and consider that to be in the university is enough. It's absolutely necessary to combine both for me. But we are learning in school some elements, some reflection, some approach, some design process. We take the time to do the thing that sometimes when we are working in a company, I think Sebastian knows that very, very well, we have some time constraints which are absolutely extremely severe and extremely difficult. And at school, sometimes we take more time to develop a project. So this capacity to, this sedimentation, I would like to say, in a design process we can have in school is also very, very precious. So I find this more, I don't find any opposition, but definitely those two experiences for me are necessary and complementary.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe like since you mentioned the design fundamentals that you teach in year one, maybe you can explain a bit more about what you might learn.
The structure of the course of the idea is based on the year one will be a fundamental where the students are learning what we can say element of design. They are learning how to deal with the proportion. They are learning some skills, model making, also drawing. They are also learning some knowledge in terms of history of architecture and history of industrial design. This is absolutely crucial. And from the second year, we have a system of platform where the students from the second, third, and fourth year are working, studying or working on project together. And this is the real spine of our division. And in parallel to those platforms, we have also a certain number of courses to support the platform. So the platform, the project is definitely the core of our teaching. And then in final year, year 4, each student has his or her final thesis, final project, which is crucial for career.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a really good question, Aloysius. Yeah, I think a good point that like one doesn't replace the other, like they're advantageous for both. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, hopefully this answers. Yeah. Okay, there's one question from, I think that's Min Xiang. I'm not sure whether you're still here. He says, notice carpentry, fabrication, craft may die out where I work. How will one benefit from DID?
I would like to state that whatever is the media where we are working, we have this discussion a few minutes ago. A designer, what is fantastic with the work as a designer or architect is the fact that we can work with absolutely all the media. And we are talking about the traditional carpentry fabrication may die. We have numerous examples over the world where very famous designers or Philippe Starck, Kita in Japan and Philippe Starck in France, has been working with traditional craft or some specific material which were not used anymore. And because of the design, they have been able to come with some amazing collection to do a kind of renaissance. It's a kind of, I would like to say, reinterpretation of the tradition, bringing the material to a different level. And this material could be considered like very poor, very humble. Suddenly, because of the very, very good design, we are bringing a new emotional response, a new semantic, and suddenly these products start to sell again. And we have a few examples in Japan with a traditional lacquerware, where there is some young designer, also in Europe, who have designed some beautiful collection in lacquerware, but more contemporary to give a new life to this know-how. Example of the Japanese washi, fantastic lamp designed by Kita or Isamu. We get also some beautiful pewter. Pewter was a very traditional materials which has been more or less abandoned, but some designer gave a second life to this material. So whatever is the material, even the most simple, humble, concrete, the role of the designer is to find the way to give a new life. And all those work like carpentry, whatever, of course, now they are in difficulty, but there is definitely some possibility to look at this expertise from a new eyes, from a new angle, and this is the role of the designer. Maybe Sebastian, you would like to say a few words about that?
No, I'm actually quite surprised to hear that carpentry is a dying industry, because in my case I manage multiple construction projects, and when there's construction there's carpentry. So no, I'm still the kind of projects that I'm looking at per year is 100. 100 projects per year across Asia Pacific. So I would like to say that in Asia there is still a huge demand for skilled carpenters. Just in China itself, you have multiple factories that are still doing carpentry work, specializing in carpentry work. So yeah, if you keep an open mind and set your views, set a bit more regional or more international, you will see that there are still opportunities for you to thrive as a carpentry specialist. Even in my case, I although I'm not the person who is physically building, who is physically doing the carpentry work, but in a sense, I'm managing carpentry projects. I still need basic knowledge of carpentry. So yeah, I hope you can see it that way. Where if you are concerned about carpentry, then there is still a demand for it.
Yeah, Min Xiang, I'm not sure whether we're answering your question. Just let us know maybe if you want to clarify the question. But you were saying, notice carpentry, fabrication, craft may die out where I work. Can we ask, like, where are you working? Like, if you don't mind sharing. And the second question the second part of the question said, how will one benefit from DID? I'm not sure if you have any specific question in mind about the kind of benefit you want to ask about, but do you want to comment on that?
No, I would like to say that we have developed since many years numerous workshop of platform based on a specific technology. It can be Korean, it can be aluminium or plastic, whatever. So I don't see the designer should look at the material as always a new opportunity, breaking the convention, finding some pushing the material, whatever is the material, can be carpentry or wood or whatever, can pushing the material at its limit and challenge the conventional way of working on it. So I find this any material, any technique as more like an opportunity from a very, very exciting angle. How can I take something very humble or something very rudimentary and bring it at a different level? And the top designer have this capacity to design amazing, beautiful piece of furniture. I'm working now on a book, and I am looking at one interview I've conducted with Keiji Ashizawa, who is a very, very good designer in Japan. He's about 47 years old, and he has the capacity to take, say, simple pipe or piece of wood, box, and by a very, very beautiful game of proportion structure, he brings those two humble materials to a different level of sophistication. So this is a typical example of how humble technology, humble material can be sublimated and become a masterpiece.
So going back to the how will I benefit from DID, you're saying that it's the thinking approach.
Yes, there is a thinking approach, and it's without any pre-thinking. I would like to say we have to be free to investigate and challenge a convention.
Hope that's helpful for you, Min Xiang. Just let us know if you have any further questions. Okay, we'll try to take like more questions. We have about like 10 minutes left. We'll do our best. Okay, let me see. Okay. So another question from Aloysius. What kickstarted your interest in design, and what steps did you take to pursue it?
So maybe, Sebastian, you start.
Thank you, but I'm also looking forward to hearing your answer, Dr. Christian. I haven't actually asked that to you before.
First of all, I'm an architect before to be an industrial designer, but in a European history, architect and industrial designer are the same, because there is no school of industrial design in Italy a long time ago. Now there is some school, but all the top architects in the world has been designing amazing piece of furniture and some other product. I was at a personal level, I can say that my grandfather was a designer. He has been working on plastic and plexiglass, and there is some still here some iconic pieces from him, some bench, some which has been sold in Europe quite well. But he did not consider himself, because this was a self-made. He did not go to any school, but he has designed his own collection and produced in his own factory. So I've been always fascinated by design in general and architecture in general. So it was something very natural for me to move to architecture and also industrial design. What about you, Sebastian?
For me, it was more organic. I've always loved. I wouldn't say I didn't start off knowing much about design, but I always like drawing. I always like art. I always like things that look beautiful. But over time, I realized that making things beautiful also means making things beautiful for people also means that you want to improve people's you want to improve people's experience in looking at your artwork, or improve people's perception of the work that you are doing. And from there, I realized that hey, I'm actually more interested in impacting people's life, through creativity. And so from there, I did a lot of research, and I stumbled upon industrial design, and I found that this is the course that really stay true to its philosophy of making impact to the world through design. And as you can see, with the range of platforms that the students are offered, I would say that there are multiple industries that have benefited from design, and especially from these students.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Actually, hope this answers your question, Aloysius. It's a good question. There's another question that's kind of related, by Colored 2022. What's the best part about being an industrial designer? And I'm following what you said about that you really liking making a real impact in people's lives. Maybe you can share a bit more about that, or other things.
I would like to say that the advantage of industrial design on architecture is the fact that we can build very easily or design for reasonable cost. When you start to design a city hall, if you don't win the competition, you will never build it, or maybe a small house, whatever. But as an industrial designer, you can quite easily find your own language and test it. Now, technically, it's possible to 3D print, to develop your own prototype, even if it's a chair or if it's a whatever electronic device, for a reasonable cost, which is something, this is the good point. And I don't think that there is a lot of activity where you can have this direct satisfaction with your own creative. You can develop your own language, and you can experiment and evaluate. This is something which is one of the advantages of industrial design.
Well, I think that's a very valid point. And in my case, I think that the advantage of industrial design is the flexibility it allows you in terms of moving across industries and specializations. Because a very important part, the very, very basis of industrial design is to, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Christian, in case it's the right answer to your history of design course. I think the very basis of industrial design is just figuring out how to build things in quantity in the most efficient way possible. And that itself is the design that we are talking about, industrial design, figuring out how to build things in quantity efficiently. And with that kind of teaching, with that kind of a mindset, you could apply it across industries. Even when it comes to developing an app, designing an app that is easy for people to, not only for people to use, but for developers to build, is already part of what the industrial design teaching is about. Or designing, or we go even a much crazier, larger scale, designing a shop in my case, designing a shop that is not only easy for shoppers to shop, but also easy for carpenters to build. That itself is a design specialization on its own, and that is what industrial design is for me, and that's the beauty of it. How I see the flexibility of how you can transfer this set of thinking to multiple industries.
I think this is a very important comment. There is a definition of what is a good design when people ask to Kita Toshiyuki in Japan, and he say design is first of all a very personal connection between one human being, a designer, and his own product. His own product can be a shop, it can be a simple pen or a simple object. And if the design is very good, this passion for the object is transferred to the user. That you mean that the people who are shopping in this shop. If the shop is extremely well designed, they will feel comfortable. And this is something very important. So there is your own, and there is also all the people who are going to make it. If it's very well designed, it will be easy to manufacture for reasonable cost. So it comes back to the syntactic, pragmatic, and semantic dimension we mentioned last time.
Sorry, to pause a bit, right? I think the live chat will end anytime now. It will automatically close because Instagram has a limit of 1 hour. So yeah, you can continue like chatting, yes, but it might close anytime now.
So do we have some other question from our friends?
Okay, let's try. Okay.
We could do one more before the chat closes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Right. Is product design a generalist or a specialist role?
It's both for me, because we are in same time looking at the world in a open, but in same time we want to be extremely sharp on the topic we are working on. When we start to work on one, the designer should look at the society in general, but when we focus on a specific topic, we have to become kind of specialist and to understand all the parameters related to the specific topic we are working on.
Sorry, so the question was, is product design more of a generalist or a specialist role, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I think in that case it is how do you choose it? How do you decide it is? Like industry, there are many amazing generalists, but there's also many amazing specialists. So that's how wide industry. You can choose. You can find something you like and really thrive in it. And there's always a piece of cake for everyone.
Yeah, there is some designer who are specialists in only furniture or only lamp. They do only lamp all their life.
Yep.
Well, exactly. I've seen another funny, interesting question. Yes. What are the working hours for design? Alors, we are working a lot, as Sebastian knows. And I say always to my students that when you are a designer, when you are an architect, you are not an architect from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Your life is about your passion. And we are working many hours. So sometime, of course, we take time to rest and to enjoy. But when I say working many hours, is also the fact that if we are studying in an industrial design, we are expecting that our students use also the evening, the weekend, not to work, I would like to say, but to feel what is design. To go to a restaurant, have a nice dinner, it's one experience as a designer. To visit a museum, to go to visit a very, very nice shop, to touch some beautiful texture, it's also participating to your experience as a designer. So, of course, we are, as a practitioner, we are working long hours, but the problem is not for me the number of hours, is the quality of the work and the pleasure we have. So it's better to work a bit longer hours, but to have a real pleasure to do it, to have this passion for the work, than to work few hours where we don't like our job. So I think it's a passion which would drive the selection of this job. Sebastian, you want to add something?
Oh no, I just want to assure this whoever that asked this question, not to worry. I'll say we designers, as in me and my peers, we still work healthy hours. Of course, on some days we OT.
Of course.
The OT. of course, on some days we OT, we work on the weekends sometimes, but I wouldn't say it differs from any other jobs like marketing, banking, even doctors work long hours too. So no, not to be put off by it. End of the day, it is a job, and it is a job that may require you to work longer hours than usual on some days, but other days it's healthy. You will still have time to spend with your loved ones. Not to worry.
Hey, someone asked, is the salary good? HS Mint asked.
But the thing is, first of all, it's difficult to set the salary, because when we start, when I start to work as an architect in the beginning of my career, my salary was not so high, and voluntarily I've decided to go in internship and to work for Kita in Japan. But the point is, we start with some normal salary if I compare with some other work, but little by little we build our career. So it's interesting to see the progression during the year after year, in 10 years, in terms of salary, which is obvious, and of course in terms of experience and I would like to say the variety of the project we get, which is directly related to of course the salary. So it's difficult I think it's dangerous to assess the salary of an architect, engineer, whatever, just after the graduation. But it's more kind of observation of the progression over the year.
Yeah, it also depends a lot on the industry that design itself is huge. There are many industries. It depends on the industry that you choose to be in. So yeah, that's the answer to that.
Okay. Yeah, hope that's encouraging or clarifying just a little bit. HS Mint. Okay. Actually, I don't know why we're still online. It's supposed to like close automatically. Maybe Instagram changed. But maybe
it was. I'm very happy. I encourage everybody to go on the website. I wanted to thank our friend Sebastian for this very, very, very precious feedback. And
thank you for having me.
And Sebastian is a perfect illustration of the career success. And as a lecturer, the best satisfaction I have in my life is to see my student flying and to be successful like you, Sebastian. So I encourage everybody to visit our website and to visit us also. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Sebastian and Christian.
My pleasure. Very happy to see everyone.
Yeah. Someone said, like, thanks for, he just said thanks for answering and saying, like, thank you both. It was really informative. I'm sure you can see the comments. Yeah. Anyone wants to?
Pleasure. Really wish to see you in the course.
And I'm so happy that so many people came online to listen and also ask some questions, who show some kind of curiosity. And to be curious is one of the first quality of a designer, I would like to say, to have the capacity to observe our environment, to learn. It's something extremely important.
What is this website? Hi, Angel Jubilant. You can go to our profile, our Instagram profile. The link is in our bio. It's like did.platform.courses. Yeah, you'll find the link in our profile. Yeah, for anyone else, like Christian said, like curiosity is like a big part of what the tutors are actually looking for, like in students who are coming in, and it's also important for a designer in general. If you want any like more tips on like admissions or want to find out more about what DID, who DID is like looking for, or how to prepare, like feel free to chat with us on our Telegram. If you go to the website on our profile, inside the website there will be a link to like connect with us on Telegram, so you can like chat with us, like tutors, current students, and alumni there. Yeah. Okay. Hope this was insightful. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.